Hi everyone, I'm Christian Palacios and this is Videogames 4dumbz. Today I'm with Daniel Castillo, Carlos Navarro, and Jael Rodríguez. Maybe you are seeing this in the first week of November and probably an entire month already passed since the last time that we saw each other. The topic of this episode is which is the best way from a video game to tell a story. So I would like to start like the previous episode with a question. Which is the best story that you ever played? So you have 10 seconds to think about it and answer. And time's running. Okay, time's up. Daniel, would you like to start?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, I have played a lot of video games. Okay, like all of you. But I think the best story in just one video game is Grand Theft Auto 5. And I will say it's the best because just just a few video games, this one makes you get so involved in the game that you will always be interested in that will be happen next, like that good TV show that makes you want to watch it all the time. And even better, you are the one who decides through control how things will happen. Also, that adrenaline that you get while you are playing the game. So I think that GTA 5 has the best story. Yes.
Sounds really interesting. I'm the kind of people that plays GTA just to violate the traffic laws, so I don't have comments about it. But um,
Yes.
sounds really interesting. And Navarro, would you like to continue with your partner's
Yes.
topic?
Well, I
Okay.
think my favorite story in a video game is Super Metroid story. Not for the story, but by itself. I think Super Metroid story is the best because how the game tell us the story, and maybe you're wondering how Super Metroids tell us the story. Well, Super Metroid used a concept called environmental storytelling, and maybe you're wondering what the hell this is storytelling. Well,
Maybe.
environment storytelling is not more than when, uh, when the environment told you the story. For example, I want to show you some pictures. Can I show you?
Of course.
Well, how do you feel when you see this picture?
So creepy.
Seems
Yes,
like destroyed laboratory.
yes, it
Maybe.
is.
Oh, I see a body.
Yeah,
Uh,
as you can see, there are scientists that already died. The environment of the stage is very dark and creepy. And I want to show you one more thing. Uh, so I wanna show you uh, a song of the game. What do you feel hearing this? What do you think about it?
Mm.
Feels like there's someone, or something behind you, watching you.
Yes, and it is because in the next stage of this room there are Ridley waiting you. So using the music, the the environment, we can make a very scary uh, atmosphere of the game. So I want to show you one picture more. What do you think when you see this picture?
It's a happy town.
Yes,
Yes, a happy place. It's a happy place.
and and this could be exist in real life, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Yucatan or Hawaii or maybe I don't know.
Yucatan.
Well, the problem with this environment is that feels real, and it's a Super Mario world. Mario doesn't need to feel real. Mario need uh, Mario needs to feel different to the reality. The developers made this stage thinking in reality, but not in Mario. So this is the problem. This is a bad use of environment storytelling.
Mm.
So what do you think about it?
Usually, Super Mario video games are great examples when we talk about level design. A few examples are Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D World, and the newest Super Mario Odyssey. Because the Mario levels, are made specifically to teach you how to play the game. We can take the example of the first level. Usually, Mario is in the center of the screen, but in the first moment of the first level, you are in the left, and that says you that you need to go to the right. You need to advance to the right, and that is how do you use your environment to teach the player the mechanics of your game. That is level design.
Yes.
Jael, would you like to continue with your partner's idea?
Yes. I think that the game that have the best story is Mass Effect 3 because the entire game is a very well closed and complete ending. This trilogy is a third-person shooter RPG. It tells the story about Shepard. He is a military who must save the galaxy from very ancient being, who wants to eliminate all form of life every 1,000 years. This trilogy has a very immersive feature for the player. You can load the game from your previous games and to the new ones to develop the story depending on the decisions that you have chosen in the previous games. So the decisions you make in the first game going to affect the story that you will play in the second and the third game, defining who will live or die. And the possible decisions you can make are limited to your previous actions, even the personality that the protagonist will have. So each person who plays Mass Effect is going to play a different story adapted to their previous decisions. The way in which the story of this world develops depends entirely of your previous choices. And the theory game in this trilogy is a very well closer, and it's full of possibilities. So for me, Mass Effect 3 is the best story that I ever imagined. There is another game who used this characteristic, is Skyrim. But the choices that you make don't affect what happened in the main story. So it feels like that doesn't matter.
Have you ever considered working on infomercials? You speak so fast. So
Right.
did you play it with DLC or without DLC?
Without DLC, I just saw some videos from that.
Oh, what a shame. Okay, I guess it's now my turn. So as I said, in the previous episode, the best story that I ever played is from Majora's Mask. Well, technically, the best story that I know is from Bloodborne, but I never played it, so yeah, it's Majora's Mask. I like it so much because it doesn't pretend to be a complex story like Final Fantasy 13 or Twilight Princess. Instead, it has many little stories related or not with the main story, and all of those stories are related with making people happy or helping them with their problems, and that makes me makes me really happy. And in the other side, we have the abstraction of the five stages of joy, or 5 stages of grief, that you can see in the different locations of the game. The clock town represents denial. People in clock town refuses to cancel the carnival because they deny that moon is going to fall. Do you see it? This moon is going to fall. The Deku's king is angry about the kidnapping of Deku's princess. Darmani bargained with you to heal his soul and save his land. Lulu is depressed because her ex was stolen. And finally, in the Icana Valley, they already accepted his death. And there's no guides that tells you any of this. You can only know this if you if you talk to the characters and pay attention to the environment. And that's why I really, really love Majora's Mask. This is the reason why I bought my 3DS. By the way, all of your examples are really, really interesting because they tell us about a common factor. The best stories in video games aren't those that you watch in a cinematic or you read in a handbook or the official guide of the game. The best stories are those that you play. So let me ask you something else. For you, what are the difference between the different art expressions like painting, photography, movies, book, etc.? So Jael, would you like to start?
I think that what differentiates each type of art is how much allows the viewer to interpret. For example, a painting or a sculpture gives an idea to the one who is looking at it, and its meaning is a free interpretations from that idea. The literature develops a more complete and detailed idea, leaving the reader to interpret the world that is present according to their experience and imaginations. The film shows you a more close world, but its companions with music and video that you can observe and feel. In the case of video games, the main difference is that you have a direct influence on what is happening in that world. So you aren't just a more spectator you have a real participation in the story.
Yes, except in Final Fantasy 13. So, Navarro, would you like to continue?
Yeah, it's okay. Well, for me, the differences between each kind of art are, for example, in a movie, you only see that the movie wants to show you using music, camera angles, or something like that. In a book, you need to imagine all the stages, the characters, the feelings. You need to imagine everything. In a painting, if you doesn't have knowledge about, I don't know, color theory or flower theory, maybe you can receive all the message that the author wants to show. But in a video game, you are literally playing the story, and I think is the most interesting thing between the kind of arts.
Daniel, will you like to continue?
Yes. Actually, I agree with all of you. I think that something is art when it makes you feel something. Anything that you consider art, it is a poem, a song, painting, or sculpture. All of the things have the characteristic of make you feel something, sadness or joy or whatever you feel, any feeling or emotion. Like the reaction when you touch something, it's the same thing. So, mm, talking about video games, video games transmit that to you, transmit emotions, and this one had the characteristic to decide what to do. Since you're basically getting surprises of all the time, and those surprises or events are the ones making this happen. So a video game has a lot of art, I think.
Is that it? Is that all?
Yes, it's
Sorry. So all of you are completely right. What a interesting answers. As Daniel said, the objective of art is to make you feel emotions, all kind of emotions. Stephen King's books make you feel fear. We Are the Champions from Queen makes you feel powerful or successful. And as Navarro said, each kind of art has its own means to transmitting ideas. The color theory to express emotions in painting, blue related with depression, or the red related with passion or with anger. Um, Camera angles to express ideas or concepts in movies. And in video games, we have environment storytelling, for example. All these examples are typical of his field, be it painting, music, or books. I mean, we cannot tell a story in a video game at the same way we do it in movies, with a lot of cinematics. Well, we technically can do it, but we don't take full advantage of what the own means that video games has to offer. The same story when we try to adapt a story or a concept from a means to another. The reason why we cannot fully adapt H.P. Lovecraft novels to movies is because the scariest things about the creatures isn't what they describe us, but what they don't describe us, what each reader interprets of them, of the monsters or creatures. In video games, I have a little example for you. In video games, we have Doom, Doom from 2016. I will recommend that you're going to see Doom's trailer, and for you that watching this on YouTube, I will leave the link in the description below. So I will see you after you see the trailer.
Between our world.
So now that you already see it, what do you think about it? Did you like it?
Yes, I very like it. I think there is nothing better than killing demons with heavy metal in the background.
Oh yeah.
I think the trailer is very sadistic, but I well, maybe this is the finale of the game. Be sadistic.
Navarro, would you center your beautiful
Oh,
face in?
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
I just saw a lot of blood and shoots and guns and that things.
Demons.
A lot of
I just think that the music.
of violence. Sorry.
No. Okay. Continue. Jael, what do you think about it?
I just think that the music fits very well with what is happening. The same as Navarro, that's perfect.
Maybe you're wondering why I choose Doom to explain this. In Doom, we fight against demons, and the game tells you that if you want to fight demons, you need to be worse than demons, more violent. For example, if you have low health, you need to do executions. You need to damage a demon, get closer, and kill him with your own hands. This is completely opposite what you do in Call of Duty, where you take cover and wait when you are low of health. And that's how a video game can tell you a message using its mechanics. And probably you think that video game is considered art when it have beautiful graphics or a complex story. I mean, Pasión de Gavilanes have a complex story, but that doesn't mean it's good. And yeah, Doom Eternal, well, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are great examples of why video games should be considered an art expression. So, as we've seen, every kind of art has its own means to transmitting ideas, and video games aren't the exception. I guess that's it for today's episode. And the next episode, we will have a very, very special guest. So stay tuned. So that's it. Bye bye. Хорошо.
Bye.
See you.